Today I want to walk you through why more Americans are claiming Social Security early and breaking down whether that decision is actually wise, or is that decision quietly costing you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. Hey there, if we haven't gotten to meet yet, my name is Dylan Martin. I'm a certified financial planner with Stewardship Investments, and we work with Christian families, helping them align their investments and their planning with their values to help them live a fulfilling life with purpose in retirement. According to recent reporting from AARP, early Social Security claims are up 16% this past year. Nearly half of those who claimed early, or at least seriously considered it, said they did this because they're worried about Social Security running out of money. And what's surprising about this spike isn't that it's just from people who need the income. Higher income retirees, those with the most flexibility to delay, those who shouldn't be necessarily worried about things like that, are increasingly claiming at age 62 or earlier than full retirement age, locking in a permanent benefit reduction of up to 30%. And the key point of today's discussion, why I'm wanting to present this information for you to help you make an educated decision, is that claiming Social Security is an irrevocable decision. Once you start and go down that road and implement, you can't undo any sort of reduction that is in your benefit that has happened. So the real question you should be asking in your overall planning isn't, can I claim early? It should be, what is this decision actually worth? What am I giving up? What is it costing me to be claiming Social Security early? So let's start here with the facts. Social Security is funded primarily by ongoing payroll taxes. So while the trust fund is projected to be depleted around 2035, that doesn't mean that the benefits are going to disappear. Current projections are showing that after the trust fund is depleted, roughly 83% of scheduled benefits could still be paid out in 2035, and then that figure gradually lowers towards the low 70% range by the end of the century. So benefits would still be getting paid out, maybe yes at a lower rate with things projected the way they are, but the idea that Social Security is fully going away is not supported by data. What is real, however, is claiming Social Security early creates a permanent reduction, and that reduction compounds over your lifetime, and panic-driven decisions often override sound financial logic. I preach a lot on this channel that it is not helpful to make decisions from a place of fear. And what I've found in my own life and also in the lives of honestly most of the families that I'm working with is that fear typically is not very helpful when it comes to making decisions, especially big decisions that have large implications and implications that are irreversible. And this brings us to the real analysis here: is should you look to delay, and what is delaying actually worth, and what is that costing you? You've probably heard that delaying Social Security increases your benefit by about 8% per year after full retirement age up to age 70. I've done a video on how Social Security works in the past. You can check that out in the links below in the bio. I walk through this, and that is true, but it's also incomplete. What most simple calculations ignore is opportunity cost. If you delay Social Security, you are not receiving benefits for several years. That income gap must be filled by your portfolio, which means you're trading portfolio withdrawals today for higher guaranteed income later. So delaying isn't necessarily free or a given in a sense. It's a deliberate exchange between your assets and your guaranteed future income. So let's walk through a simple example here. Assume that your full retirement age benefit is $3,000 per month. Claiming at age 62 would reduce that benefit to about $2,100 per month. Delaying to age 67 means giving up 5 years of benefits. Delaying to age 70 means giving up 8 years of benefits. That foregone income is real, and it matters when looking at your whole situation. So the correct question becomes, does the higher lifetime income from delaying outweigh the cost of waiting? And that's where this starts to become a little bit more of a complex question and not as straightforward as it can appear on the surface. Research by the financial planning guru Michael Kitces provides us with a useful framework here. When you model reasonable inflation assumptions with moderate portfolio returns and the cost of delayed benefits, you typically see a break-even point around age 84 for someone who is delaying from age 62 to age 70. Before that point, delaying looks like a loss, and after that point, the advantage accelerates. And this is where where I see people misunderstand the decision. Delaying Social Security isn't a market bet, it's a longevity hedge. So the longer you live, the more valuable delaying becomes, and the benefit grows exponentially from there, not linearly. Another way to view this is through the lens of the internal rate of return of this decision. Kitsis's analysis shows that early years of delaying produce negative returns because you're giving up that income. And then as you approach that break-even point at around age 84, the real return starts to approach zero. That's where you're breaking even. And then by age 90, the real inflation adjusted return starts to approach 5%. And here is the critical comparison with this decision. To beat the risk adjusted return of delaying Social Security, your portfolio would need to generate 8 to 9% of real returns over a long period. You would need to have a large amount of market risk in your portfolio, and you would not have longevity protection. And that can be a tall order with your sensitivity to risk and the level of risk you are willing to take in retirement. This is why delaying Social Security can really be thought of as a government-backed, inflation-adjusted pension or annuity with a strong longevity protection. But with that, delaying isn't right for everyone. Claiming early can make sense if your health is uncertain, if your portfolio is limited, if you need the income immediately, or if your plan simply can't support the gap years allowing you to delay. But the key word here is being intentional. Early claiming should be a conscious trade-off, not a reaction to headlines or not driven by fear. Claiming your Social Security is going to be one of the largest financial decisions that you make going into retirement. And like we said before, it's irrevocable, so you want to make sure that you are well informed. And it interacts with everything in your financial plan, with taxes, with your portfolio withdrawals, longevity risk, your estate planning. There are a lot of things that it impacts. It's not just an isolated piece to the puzzle, and claiming early may feel like a safe bet in the moment, but in many cases it permanently reduces your financial flexibility in the future. For families with sufficient savings, delaying benefits can be one of the most efficient risk-adjusted decisions available, especially if living a long life is one of your biggest concerns. And if you'd like to see how this decision fits into your broader retirement plan, not just an isolated piece here, you can click in the link below, schedule a retirement readiness conversation with myself. I'd be happy to walk through your conversation with you, because Social Security isn't just about when you file, it's about making sure that it's working together with your whole plan, setting you up well to live a fulfilling life transitioning into retirement. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this was helpful, and we will see you again in the next video.